Are you single? Are you lonely? Tonight's question, do those Christian dating websites really work?
What message would you like to pass along to all of the single ladies?
You know, I didn't believe in predestination until I met you. Hey, baby, what are you doing for the rest of your afterlife? Hey, did it hurt when you fell from heaven? 'Cause I think you're an angel. You know, baby, you make the Queen of Sheba look like a part-time nurse.
Matt, what do you say to make a lady feel special?
You know, you float my ark. You know, you are so unblemished, I would sacrifice you. You know, me and you are like loaves and fishes. We might just be a miracle together. How would you like to be accountability partners?
So, Matt, how would you describe yourself?
Hey, I put the stud in Bible study.
So, Matt, what's your spiritual gifting?
My spiritual gift is my good looks.
Matt, what would you say to a girl that's looking at your profile right now?
Hey, baby, is this the transfiguration? 'Cause you are glowing.
So, Matt, we're going to put a caption under your photo on the website. What would you like it to say?
Hey, look, you're 22 years old. Most Christian women are 3 years into their marriage by now. Just settle for me.
Your news, your world, always within reach on KROS.
Good evening, I'm Cheetah with KROS News. It is reported that 3 out of 4 Americans make up 75% of the population. More on that story at 11.
Welcome to Growing Your Perspective, where we look at the issues that matter to you. The Roaring 20s, the jazz era, the motion picture industry dominated the insatiable appetite of the American public. People were moving to Hollywood at such a rate that the trade papers were urging people to stay away. Everyone wanted to be a star, but only a few achieved that box office stardom they were desiring. People like Gloria Swanson, Wallace Reed, Greta Garbo, Douglas Fairbanks, Charlie Chaplin. These are a few of the stars that had their names in lights and made millions at the box office. However, there was one star that only made it for a short season in 1928. Rhubarb Vasilino was the household name as the new matinee idol. However, the talkies had arrived, and soon after that, Rhubarb was never heard from again. What happened? How did this rising star's career end so abruptly? Tonight we're going to find out, because we have the rare opportunity. This man never does interviews, but we have him here tonight. Let's welcome him tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rhubarb Vasilino. Rhubarb, come on in. Oh my gosh, what an honor this is, sir. I am such a fan of the silent film genre, and here you are. To me, you're the pinnacle. I mean, you guys did more with just your facial expressions than these guys today can do with a whole script. I just can't believe in 1928 you were riding high. How is it that the talkies came along? What happened to your career? How did it end like that?
Well, I was just as surprised as anybody else. You know, there was someone else at the same time that had the same voice, and he did pretty well. But I don't know. I lost my audience. I lost
Didn't
my
you
studio.
interview him?
We did email.
By email.
They just left me.
What am I supposed to do with this? It's obvious why his career ended.
Everything was gone.
Will you shut up?
I have no will. Oh, you made your kill 'cause you took advantage of me. I'm just like...
Good evening and welcome to Spotlight on Entertainment. I'm I Cheatham, and I got to tell you, this is one of my most favorite segments that we do down here at KROS Television, keeping you on the cutting edge of what's happening in entertainment. And I got to tell you something. You know, when I was a little kid, when they would have that guy come out and he had a little dummy on his knee, and he would do the act, and he wouldn't move his lips and have the thing talk for him, I was on the floor. And you know what? I'm still on the floor. I tell you, ventriloquists, they're my favorite. There you are. That's what we're going to have tonight. We have the greatest ventriloquist in the business. His name is Sven Garlick, and his sidekick, Dudley. And we're going to go to a live feed with him. He couldn't come to the studio because he's so busy. But, you know, he's doing a gig live at Sow's Belly, Wyoming, at the Dewdrop Inn. He's there live. Is it ready? You got that ready to go, Frank? You can bring that up? Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the great Sven Garlick. Well, good evening and welcome to the show. I am the great Sven Garlick, and this is Dudley. Say hello, Dudley. Hello. Dudley, do you like the audience? No. Well, Dudley, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do something most ventriloquists do, but with a twist. I'm going to drink some water while you sing. Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. What's that? Thank you. That was pretty good. Hey, very good, Dudley. Hey, I understand that your wife has given you problems. Yep, she thinks she's a refrigerator. Well, how is that your problem? Well, she sleeps at night with her mouth open, and that little light keeps me awake all night. That's very good, Dudley. I'll tell you what. I'm going to smoke a cigarette and have you talk at the same time, okay? Hey, what about me? Oh, sorry, Dudley. So, Dudley. Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second, Dudley. I got a phone call. Hello?
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, I haven't heard from you for a long time.
Hey, can I call you back? I'm right in the middle of my ventriloquist act.
Okay, no problem.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye.
Hey, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Hey, I understand. Wait a minute. Dudley, do you know that we're on a live feed with I Cheatham with Spotlight on Entertainment? Let's go. Hey, are you there? Can you hear us? Well, that's the main problem, is I can still hear you. Yes, I can hear you. And I just want to tell you something. What? You are one of the worst acts I've ever seen in show business. You're one of the worst ventriloquists I've ever seen, and you are the worst comedian I've ever seen. You and that stupid dummy. I don't even know how you got a gig in Sow's Belly, Wyoming. Who are you to talk to me like that? Who are you? You're I Cheatham. You're one of the worst newscasters in the world. You get out of here. Shut up. I told you to shut up. Terrible. Now you're the most you Good evening. This is I Cheatham with KROS News. This is a landmark day for us here at KROS. It was 70 years ago that my father started the station. I can still hear his voice echoing off these walls, yelling at me. But if it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't be here. But we have some unbelievable archival footage of my father doing a broadcast back in 1951. Fresh out of the Korean War, I'd like to present to you Guy Cheatham. Good evening, I'm Guy Cheatham with KROS News. A farmer in Lüneburg, Germany, reported that a number of his chickens had exploded with a loud bang while running across the barnyard. Investigators concluded that the chickens must have eaten bits of carbide left behind by Allied soldiers during recent maneuvers. When the carbide combined with water in their stomachs, the resulting gas caused them to blow up. Having been selected as Miss Kangaroo, Loretta North of Australia got to tour the United States in the company of two kangaroos while doing publicity events to promote the movie Kangaroo, starring Maureen O'Hara and Peter Lawford. One of the kangaroos promptly died. Loretta had to be hospitalized for strep throat, and it proved impossible to toilet train the other kangaroo. In other news, in return for a promise of big blow-ups of her picture at sewer conventions all over the country, a 17-year-old aspiring actress, Galia Davis of Detroit, accepted the title of Miss Sewer Cleaner of 1951. She reflected philosophically, "It may be a soggy title, but if it helps my career, I don't care." Finally in the news, an American blanket manufacturer debuted a lead-lined Atom blanket, priced $49.50, that it promised would shield those hiding beneath it from atomic radiation, fire, and shock 10 miles from the blast center of an A-bomb. Civil defense experts, however, warned that basement shelters were more effective. I'm Guy Cheatham with KROS News. Stay safe and duck and cover.
Former prize fighter canvasback Canera, he's written a book, The Count of 10, again and again. Let's go live now.
How did you get involved in boxing?
Well, I was a pretty gangly kid, kind of a goofy kid. Everybody used to make fun of me and push me around, knock me around. Yeah, grade school, I got beat up every day. When I got to high school, I got beat up every day. It became such a regular thing, they made it part of the curriculum, So I had to learn how to fight,
Did that work out?
Well, it worked out pretty good, I'd say. I have 65 consecutive knockouts.
Wow, that's a pretty good record.
Yeah, but I was the one that got knocked out. What are you talking about? It was a good record, yeah.
Did you have a good manager?
Oh yeah, he was a great guy. I remember the first fight that I got in. I was ready to step in the ring, and he told me, he said, "Get ready. You go in there, give it your best. Give him the old 1-3, 1-3." I said, "Hey, what about 2?" He said, "2 you get." Yeah, so I've got a lot of 2s upside the head, man. So, yeah.
What's that around your neck?
Oh, yeah. Well, my agent, he's a pretty sentimental guy, so he had my teeth strung into a necklace, it's pretty cool. It's a nice little momentum and a little memory of my career,
Did any success come from your career?
Well, yeah, but we made other people successful, like my second threw in so many towels, we kept 3 Chinese laundries running at full steam.
What was your biggest fight?
Well, I remember the biggest fight I got was, I was all excited. We got to be on TV. It was like 10 million people will be watching. I told my manager, 10 million people are going to be watching me. And they said, yeah, but they'll know the end of the fight 10 seconds before you do. But that, Anyway, yeah, I got knocked out on that one, too.
How do you want to be remembered?
Well, I already got my tombstone. It's all engraved. It's ready to go. It says, "Don't bother counting. I ain't getting up." Yeah. What?
Hey, Canvas, can you show us an example of your boxing style?
Oh, sure. I'd be glad to. It's one of a kind. Hey, somebody, why don't you toss me those gloves over there?
So, Gerry, I was going through the archives and I found that you have played 27 different characters in the last year and a half.
Yeah, I know. I don't know who I am. I don't know the real me. I don't know. I mean, I get confused. I don't.
Well, if you're confused now, you're going to be more confused after you see this. Welcome to Growing Your Perspective, where we look at the issues that matter to you. The Old West is a time wrapped in nostalgia and immortalized in the movies and American lore. One of the central characters is that of the gunfighter, a man who carried the law on his hip into a lawless land. Today, one of these heroes is actually walking out of legend and into our own studios. This man stood on the dirt streets of the western towns and looked down the barrel of death. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the last living gunfighter in America, Grimy Larson. Grimy Larson! Welcome, Grimy Larson.
Oh.
This is truly an honor, sir.
Thanks for having me.
I am
Pilgrim.
I couldn't believe
Great
it when
to be
Frank
here.
told me that he had found a genuine Old West gunfighter. Can I ask you some questions?
Go ahead. Sure.
How does it feel to be one of the last of a breed of real men?
Well, let me tell you, Pilgrim, it's not easy. The world doesn't have a place for real men like me.
I can't help but agree. That's amazing. Is it true that you were one of the guns at the OK Corral?
No, that was 1881, Pilgrim.
Oh.
I pulled my pistol at the All Right Corral in 1918. And that was my last gunfight.
Oh,
Yo.
Okay. I've never heard of that gunfight. It must have been spectacular. How many gunfights would you say you were in during your career?
Well, just that one.
Oh, I was under the impression there were a lot more than that. What's that, Frank? You're kidding. We actually have film of this event. How did that happen?
Well, my cousin Ernie was there with his brand new motion picture movie camera, and he happened to catch the exact moment.
You're kidding. This is amazing.
Yep.
You know what? Frank, go ahead and roll that film. Hey, it looks like you shot yourself in the eye. Who were you supposed to be facing off with?
Well, I was called out by the Shiloh Kid, Pilgrim, but it turns out he was at the Swell Corral down the street. I never saw him.
Frank, the guy was alone. He shot himself in the eye. This guy is not a gunfighter. Where did you get him? Craigslist.
He was available.
Perfect. Hey, listen.
He's a gunfighter.
He did not fight with a gun. He shot himself. Anyone can do that.
Well, I'd like to see you try, Pilgrim.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'd
perfect.
be funny.
You know what? This is over. There are no gunfighters left.
What are you
It's
talking
over.
about? That's an insult. I'm the last of the gunfighters.
I'll
meet you out in the streets. I'll take both of you out there.
You couldn't get out to the street
I don't want
by
to tell
yourself.
you, John. Good evening, I'm Guy Cheatham with KROS News. Today in Barcelona, Spain, during the running of the bulls, a bull jumped a wall and ran into a china shop. Reporters have nothing to compare it to. More on this story at 11.
Integrity, class, experience, insight, principle, excellence, caring, perspective, man of the people. This is KROS News with I. Cheatham.
Good evening, I'm I. Cheatham with KROS News. Residents of a Queens neighborhood are dealing with a squirrely threat. Residents of the New York City neighborhood say an aggressive squirrel has jumped on them and bitten them in the past several weeks. Michelle Frederick pointed to a bruise on her wrist where she said the squirrel landed on her and then sank its teeth into her fingers and hands. We're wrestling in the snow and there's blood everywhere, and the finger's getting chewed and it won't let go, Frederick said. Eventually, it just stopped, and there I was, a big bloody mess. In photos Frederick says she took after the attack, we see a snowy pathway covered in blood. And a picture of the alleged attacker with an unknown accomplice. I'm I. Cheatham with KROS News. Stay safe and reload.
This has been KROS News with I. Cheatham.
Hey, Rocky, you want to see me pull a rabbit out of the hat?
Aye, we're still rolling. We're still on the air.
What? Frank, you did it again. I'm going to talk to you after
Don't
the
be
show.
dramatic.
This is the 71st. She reflected philosophically.
I kept bobbing and weaving after the fight all the way to the locker room, you know?
A monocle. In photos Frederick took after she set the talk with she took him away.
Frank, what is this? That's not Steven Spielberg.
His name is Steven
Yes, I
Spielberg.
am. What do you mean? You don't know who I am? I'm Steven Spielberg from Salisbury, Wyoming.